I think that open bodybuilding will keep getting smaller, unfortunately. And I think that men's physique is going to stay the most popular. It's a very mainstream, appealing look. So some of the classic bodybuilders are, by some people's standards, even still a little bit too muscular. And the 212 guys, really, if you stretch those guys out, they're the most muscled guys. You know, some of these guys that are 5'2" and shredded at 212, I mean, they're nothing but muscle. And so there's another group that, unfortunately, to the mainstream is not as appealing. I think classic is extremely appealing, and it's not looked at as negatively, but they still could be, with all the striations and veins and everything else, considered like too much, or, oh, that's drugs, to the mainstream eye. Where, you know, some of these guys like, you know, Ryan Terry, for instance, comes on stage and your grandma's gonna think he looks healthy and cute, and, you know, your brother's gonna be like, I would like to look like that guy. You know, it's a lot more appealing overall. So I don't think that we'll see the men's physique division slow down. I think some of the bigger men's physique guys, of course, are gonna do classic, because now they're gonna be like, man, I get a chance to, you know, like really show my hard work, and maybe there's less guys there, and maybe I can have a spot. Some of the guys that have done that haven't fared as well, because right now the classic division is growing very, very fast. But I don't think that it'll eclipse the men's physique. And this is gonna sound like a silly thing, and it's not. The open look is by far the hardest to achieve. So because of that, there's going to be less and less. It's not the hardest to judge, and it may be the easiest to judge. There's way less guys, and the ones that are really good really stand out. Bikini is probably the hardest to judge, because there's so many of them. They all look great. You know, you got 40 hot girls on stage, and it's very, very hard to judge. But bodybuilding sets itself apart. It's sad that it's gotten so much smaller, but it sets itself apart at how truly hard it is to be that good. I mean, it's possible that if that were the case, that perhaps they change the weight classes a little bit around a little bit more, and it's all just bodybuilding, whether it's open or classic. But I don't think that, I couldn't see them phasing out the men's side of bodybuilding, because it all started with bodybuilding. You know, it all started with Joe Weider and really Arnold and Joe's relationship together, and how charismatic Arnold was in making bodybuilding cool. And then, of course, Arnold was the biggest, right? And there was the arguments of, oh, you know, well, you know, Sergio's better than him. And then, you know, as time went on, you had even bigger guys. And all of a sudden, Lee Haney came, and he was way bigger and better than anybody. And then all of a sudden, Dorian came, and they just kept pushing the envelope more and more. So if it did take a step back for a new look, I think it would certainly grow back into what it is anyway. I think that men's open has been around for so long, and it's gone through so many different changes over the years, that the stay power will be there because of that. I do think that classic is going to keep growing. I don't really love the shorts in classic personally. I would love to see those guys in closer to open trunks. I think that you could appreciate the physique a little bit differently that way. So who knows, maybe that's something that they'll change going forward. Maybe they won't. You know, maybe that they'll increase the weight classes slightly. You know, there's a lot of things that will happen through the evolution of the sport that are hard to predict. I just love bodybuilding, you know? So for me, when I was young, I just wanted to be as big as I could possibly be. And as I've gotten older, my perspective has changed. So with the generations following the sports, I think there was a time where people also wanted to be really big, because that's what they knew. I think that they got rid of women's bodybuilding, though, specifically because it looked unhealthy to most people. So if they were gonna go after men's bodybuilding, it would have to be for that same reason, you would assume, you know, because there are people that are like, oh, those guys look like they're gonna die soon, it's too much drugs, you know.